Got Kenny Colcos, say hello.
Hi there.
And we also got Paramagic.
Hello.
So in this podcast we're going to be talking about some of the biggest articles related in gaming. We're also going to be talking about some of our favourite things and things we don't really like with gaming. And we're also going to be talking about what's coming to Tgl's YouTube and the social hub. So let's get straight into it. So the first thing we're going to talk about is Anthem, which has received a lot of negative reviews. The game had a lot of promise. Just seems to be really a disaster at the moment, is the best way I can describe it. Do you want to expand on that?
Yeah, I mean, we played the demo, right? And the game was fairly boring in that. And I know it's meant to be a demo, so it's not meant to be like the full game, of course. But even from a demo, you're meant to, find some reason to want to buy the game, and I didn't, personally. I don't think you did. I don't think a lot of people did. Encountered quite a lot of issues with it, obviously. It's an early build, so that's going to happen anyway, but I found no reason to, no enjoyment out of the missions that I played. A lot of people who have, I think everyone who has EA access or Origin access or whatever it is, managed to get Anthem a bit early, a couple of days early. So people have been playing the full game over the last few days. One of the people that I follow, Angry Joe, he's a game reviewer. He was playing it, and he just encountered so much rubbish in the game. And he's a very good critic, and he brought up a lot of valid points about it being such a kind of cheaped out game in a way. It doesn't feel like a BioWare game. It feels like really old style game design, rinse and repeat missions and such. I don't know where it's going. I don't know what BioWare have done to this, or EA have done to this, I should say. I think they're the kind of the enemy in this kind of whole thing. So
yeah, it just seemed like when we played in the demo, don't get me wrong, you could definitely tell, we're at the point now where if you're playing on an original Xbox One, you're not even going to get 30 FPS. I mean, luckily, I have a One X, so I was playing at 60, it was fine. But it just got to the point where it just seemed really boring. The game had so much hype. So I think it just suffered the same kind of fate that Watch Dogs 1 has suffered, where it was hyped for so long and everyone really wanted it and they get it and it just goes, ugh.
Yeah,
so
that's true. But people have been enjoying it, which is really good.
Yeah, I do hope it does get, it does pick up a bit, because it is a really good, promising game,
Yep. I mean, if you do enjoy it, more power to you. That's great. But I think the majority of people who have played it, it's just not what they were expecting, unfortunately.
Yeah. So moving on from Anthem, I believe Kearney had wanted to talk about Siege, was there?
Yep, so there's going to be a new operation, and it's going to be Operation Burn Horizon coming to Rainbow Six Siege. There's going to be a new map called Outback, and there's 2 new operators from the Australian Special Air Service, and it's going to be released on all platforms on the 5th of March 2019, which is actually pretty soon, to be honest. So it's good that they've made this content and then they're going to release it straight away. Because if you buy the Year 4 pass, which me, Kearney Kokos, and Hardy F1 have bought, so if you wanted to play along, we are always on that. Well, not always online, but we are online, and we are wanting to play with you guys. So the two new operators that are going to come out. There's one defender and one attacker. The defender is a guy called Mozzie, and he has a powerful gadget that frustrates the efforts of attackers. What I mean by this is that he has a slingshot pest launcher, in brackets, that can fire a tiny drone hacking robot into the environment, capable of taking control of any attacking drone that comes into its range. So if you're attacking, your drone comes in, you see that they're in the back room or the bedrooms of Outback. You won't be able to actually go anywhere near that, because you'll see a huge sign on your screen from Mozzie. His pest is going to be hacking your drone. Now, if you're playing Mozzie, you're able to hack the drones, the attackers' drones, I should say. Those drones, even Twitches, they'll become under your control. You can have as many as you like, as many as the pests that you have, that Mozzie has. You haven't released that many that you'll have. I'm assuming it would be 2, because if you have more than 2, it's going to be a bit overpowered. It's going to be a bit It's going to be like nobody will choose Echo, nobody will choose Valkyrie. They'll end up just choosing Mozzie all the time. So there's more space for different operators to use, like more frost traps, more Capcan traps. So it's more stable if you only have 2 rather than more than 2. Now you can actually use Twitch drones. You can actually fire, Twitch's taser into into enemies or anything that you want, because you have full control of that. Now, if you go outside, you won't be able to use that anymore because you'll lose signal. As with Echo's drone, I think it is, when you take that outside, you won't be able to use it. So there's loads of different news stories and stuff like that, but I think the guns that Mozzie will be using is a Commando 9 assault rifle, which is good to like medium range, or the P10 Ronnie. It says from trustedreviews.com. So if you wanted to check that out, you're always free to search this news. So there's another operator. It's going to be an attacker called Gridlock, and this is a female. She's going to be a defender. Now, what this one does, it's kind of like a mix of frost traps with, shall we say, a goo mine. So you just throw it on the floor. Loads of different gridlock traps come out, and it's going to be like an entry denial. So it's more or less like an AOE, so an area of effect. You are able to shoot down this gridlock mine if you're quick enough. Obviously, with your precise, because it's such a small little device. She's a 3 armor and a 1 speed, so she's kind of like Doc and Smoke, which is more or less an anchor. Mozzie was a 2 armor and a 2 speed, I remember, so it's more or less a roamer, but you can always switch between the 2. Now with Gridlock, there's more or less this controversy of, it's going to be too overpowered. You're not going to be able to go upstairs. It's going to change the meta. All this jibber jabber, and I feel really strongly against having her in, because with the defensive meta, even though she is a attacker, you are able to block certain sight lines for where defenders are able to move back into the bomb room. So it's going to be really good. It's going to really change up the game, and I'm really looking forward to this new up and coming change. Now the expected guns, they're not really shall we say confirmed news. I don't really know, but what it looks like that she's going to be using an F90 assault rifle. It says that it's going to be a bullpup assault rifle, which I don't really know what kind of bullet. So if it's going to be a 50 cal, it's obviously going to be OP. She's going to be using a SDP 9mm pistol, which is nice. And I really think this Siege game and the Siege using, with loads of different streamers with Twitch, it's going to be challenging Fortnite, shall we say, or challenging your Apex Legends, because loads of different streamers are going to Apex Legends, loads of different streamers are staying with Fortnite.
Yeah, actually, speaking about that, Apex Legends has done really well. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a game I don't really enjoy, so it's not for me. I know it's an unpopular opinion, I just don't like it. But yeah, it's doing really well, and I know they've had like the Loch Ness Easter egg of the monster thing and all that, so they're going from strength to strength. It is cool to see that Respawn have gone to the Battle Royale scene that everyone's going into. But the sad news is that there's no Titanfall 3. And Titanfall 2,
wasn't it cancelled?
Sad.
It just wasn't even in development, because they were, they'd seen obviously what Fortnite was success and all that, and they were like, why don't we just make our own? So
I mean, don't get me wrong.
Focus completely.
I think Apex is kind of a cool game. I mean, I'm on the same boat as you. I'm not really too bothered. I quite enjoy it, but I'm not going to be sitting and playing it all day. Like some people really, some people really love it, which is great. But personally, I'll touch it here and there, but I'm not a big fan of it. But yeah, I would very much so rather have had a AAA Titanfall 3 over Apex personally. And I know it's a free-to-play game, so I can't complain, and I'm not. But I really would.
The game, even though it is free.
Yeah, exactly. But I really enjoyed Titanfall 1. It was a very simple game. Titanfall 2 was a hidden gem. So many people didn't play that game, and it makes me mad because, oh my god, there's been so many times when the game has been like discounted to literally like $5, and it's like, if you have not touched that game, you had better play it now, because the campaign was incredible. Multiplayer is just a fun action-packed multiplayer. But that was such a big step up from the first game, and I think they had a really good kind of understanding of what the fans wanted. So they literally went from Titanfall 1 to Titanfall 2 with a massive improvement, an evident amount of improvement. And I feel like they would have done that with number 3 as well. Not like there was many flaws of 2 that I can clearly state, but number 3 would have been a great addition. Well, and maybe they will do it eventually.
Yeah, I mean, so let's move focus from Titanfall. One of the other hot topics in gaming, and it always will be, especially for for future, is loot boxes. It's been the whole case thing in Belgium with Rocket League and FIFA, where even FIFA are now removing the sale of FIFA points in Belgium. Rocket League are removing crates and all that from Belgium. But as you may have seen, Call of Duty Black Ops 4 has now put loot boxes in, and there's been a lot of controversy because there was an interview that someone dug out from David Vondar, where he said that all the Blackout characters were going to be behind missions and quests. That was it. Whereas now the I think it's Vacation Vacation Hudson character is only through loot boxes, which you have to buy. So many people will say to him, well, you're a liar, you're backstabber, which again is he's a game developer, he's not Activision. If it's Activision's call on that, then he's got no say in it. You know what I mean? Which you can feel kind of for the guy, but again, loot boxes generally, there's a whole topic about, is it gambling, is it not, which is hard to deny it's not, because to be fair, they give you, it's almost like playing roulette. It's like put my money on that crate, spin it, is it going to be what I want? If it's not, then it's and then you get into the whole debate of should it only be cosmetic items. I mean, look at when it was like pay to win stuff, it's just fails.
Well, yeah, I mean, when was it when they implemented the supply crates, and you could literally get unique guns that all had these different stats, and it essentially, in a way, it was just pay to win.
Yeah, I mean, they also, the thing with Activision as well is they've just laid off 800 people for a company that makes millions a year. It's just
there's stuff going on. People. Yeah, with Activision Blizzard as well or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
They're kind of running themselves into the ground at the minute by just being so greedy. But no, it's kind of sad to see that the game. We all know it was always going to have microtransactions, but after everyone kind of joked about the red dot, which was $1 for a circle dot.
It was.
It was free in every other game. And it should have been free, and that is just a ridiculous microtransaction.
Yeah,
it's one of those things like back in the day, especially like 2008, 2009. You'd get 4 map packs, and that was DLC, and it wasn't a pay to win; it was pay to play, basically. And people didn't really mind it because it was just an add-on. Whereas now it's you're paying $1 for a site that's been in every other game. And it's when developers, well, not developers, but maybe probably. Correct me if I'm wrong, probably publishers say, let's get more greedy. So, there's no...
Yeah.
You could easily say for card, so we're going to introduce this character, just pay, £2.50, there's a character, or do these missions, unlock it for playing our game, whatever. But when now you got to spend £9 on a key to buy to unlock the damn crate, so you then got to buy the crate, then open it, where you might get your character, this seems absolutely ridiculous to me. It's the same with Rocket League. It might be like, you want a black market decal. You might want something like a dissolver. You get like a player's choice crate, and they say it's 1% chance, but I'm pretty sure there's people out there who have opened. If that's true, then get 100 crates, and one of those crates should be a black market decal or something. But I bet you it won't be. I bet you'll get like 80 rares.
I feel like with free games, microtransactions to an extent are acceptable as long as they are. They're not pay to win. So games like Apex, you can get Apex packs or whatever, and you can get cosmetics like skins. Sure, if you want to spend money on that, because you've not bought the game, you don't have to spend a penny to play the game. That's okay. still, I don't think that's like the best form of monetization, but I would rather earn them skins normally, which I think you can on Apex anyway. If you level up, I think you get Apex packs. In a way, it's not too bad. But when a game like Call of Duty, which is a AAA price game, when they start doing that whole microtransaction thing, it's such a silly form of monetization, and they're just taking advantage of people who know, because they know that people are just gonna, look at something, they'll see a skin and be like, "Oh, I really want that. Let's open up a pack," and they do, and they don't get it, and they're like, "Oh, I'll get it in the next one," and they do it, and they keep on doing it until they're literally broke, and it happens. Definitely. It really does happen, and it's such a scummy tactic.
Yeah,
but Activision don't care. They really don't.
I think it varies from different ranges of gaming, because if you have a shooter, there's more or less only one way to advance. But if you had more or less like an MMORPG, which is a multi, I'm not going to explain the MMORPG. Yeah. So you have RuneScape, World of Warcraft. There's an old game that I used to play called DC Universe Online. Now, if you've ever played them games, or if they're more or less your type of games that you play day in, day out, you'll always know that there's more or less loads of different ways to advance your levels. So if you, let's say, one that really hits home is DC Universe Online. The game died because loads of same level designs and stuff like that, but that's not really the topic. The topic is that the microtransactions inside, where actually you can change your different powers. So you created a superhero if you wanted to be a fire character and a water character, etc. So if you wanted to change your power, you can with a microtransaction. If you wanted a different style, you can do with a microtransaction. All well and good. Now, with different styles of gaming, so you have shooting, racing, there's really only one way to win, and that's to obviously win a race or to win a battle royale game, etc. Now, microtransaction comes into play there with, do you have this gun which has like, I don't know, 1 million damage per second? Does it have like a 1 million fire rate, etc. So it's more or less the type of game style that comes into play that more or less it kind of contradicts itself. I don't know whether that's the right phrase, but it's more or less
I get what you mean.
Yeah.
The other thing that's just, it seems really weird with this now is, do we think that like in the next 5 years or so, that every game now is going to be on the freemium game and free to play, but then it's all microtransactions? Are we going to get a new Call of Duty that they're going to just say, hey, it's free to download, play it, but you've then got to buy these skins? You've got to, it's partly risky if they do it like that, because if people like with something like Fortnite, people always buy skins on it. I'll always buy a battle pass. I enjoy that game. I will do it. But by the time you get down the line, 4 or 5 years from now, people go, well, it's just a free game. Maybe the skins, if they're not that nice, you might buy the odd one or whatever. But if you're selling copies of games, let's say you sell 200,000 copies of COD at £30, you got to do is times that by whatever. So if you times 30 by 200,000, then all of a sudden that's what, 6 million?
Wow, that's a lot.
That's £6 million you would make. Obviously, before you have to pay, your retailers, distributors, whatever, or how much they pay you as well for getting the copies. That's guaranteed money if you sell those copies. But if you're making it free to play, then you've got to recoup that money and more. So it's one of those things, really. But do you really think we're going to get more free-to-play games that are AAA titles? I mean, we'll probably get more free-to-play games generally, because we just will. Probably more BRs. I mean, if you think about developers, we've got a Call of Duty BR, we've got an Epic Games BR. Is Halo gonna? Well, is it free for free? Are they gonna bring a Halo BR?
I would be surprised if they didn't. I really would be surprised if they didn't.
Yeah.
Where does
That's
it
the
stop?
market.
What companies? Are Blizzard gonna bring one for Overwatch BR? Like that kind of setting. It just seems like everything, Oh look, Rocket League BR, blow them all up to win. It's
just Tetris, man. It's
Tetris
battle
there is actually, Tetris 99, which is free download if you're a Nintendo Online member for Switch, which I am, which I was reading up about it actually. Which I'm terrible at Tetris, so I wouldn't get it anyway. But yeah, so it's just, where does it stop? Like, everyone just seems to want to have a battle royale mode. You know, I
I
mean,
think it
even
would stop
Battlefield
at
comes out
Pac-Man
this year.
BR.
Yeah, Pac-Man BR. You know, it's just, where next? You know, the BR genre. You know, I think it blew up. You know, particularly when H1Z1 came out, and you had Arma 3 mod and PlayerUnknown goes, hey, look, I can build my own game. Which whether he built it or not, you can get into that debate any other day. For PUBG, which PUBG is funny because in historical terms, a lot of people call that the daddy of battle royale games because a lot of people played it, got into it, seen how good it was. Yeah, it runs really badly still after 2 years, nearly 3.
Yeah, it still has issues.
It's especially like you can forgive them when they first launched it, like the small company, they're just getting used to it. But when Call of Duty comes out the box and goes bang, he's a 60 FPS optimized shooter, Apex Legends, bang, we really worked on it for probably a year and a half, and there it is.
Yeah.
But PUBG comes out,
money
and
that
it's just
PUBG Corp have brought in. They should definitely have, managed to figure out something with all that money they've made. At least with hiring certain people to manage the game.
The Microsoft deal as well. I thought Microsoft would have brought in people that would have just done it. But yeah, so let's get off the gaming news because that's what we're going to do for this week. Let's get into some of our top 3, 5, 10 things, whatever. So let's go round. So we'll start with Kearney. Kearney, what are your top 3 games right now?
Top 3 games right now are definitely Rainbow Six Siege, as we've discussed earlier.
Yeah.
Definitely Fortnite. I feel that game is. I feel it's already hit its climate, but I feel like it won't die down in the next 5 years. It's definitely going to be around for a long time. Sadly, to disappoint any fans who hate Fortnite, and I definitely really like. See, this is really controversial. I really like Rocket League at the moment, only because I've bought the Rocket Pass, and there's this kind of game where it feels like it's going stale. The competitiveness of the game is more or less, it's gone sour. It's you're always going to know that Turbo Pulsar who plays for. Remind me again. Yes, that's the one. He plays for Dignitas, and you're always going to know that he's going to be the best player ever, etc., etc. And so there's more or less those 3 games that I really enjoy. 2 are one is a battle royale.
Actually, speaking about things that get a bit stagnant, if you're talking about Turbo Pulsar, did anyone else watch the Siege 6 Invitational? Because I did, and G2 won it completely, just smashed them 3-0 in the last game against Team Empire. But they've been world champions twice in a row, and it gets to a point where a bit like SKT were doing it in League. It's like these people are so good at their game, and no one ever really steps up to them, apart from maybe they have an off year, and then someone else wins. So will something new come in? You hope so. But Pero, what are your top 3 games?
Favorite games at the minute, probably. I've been playing Rocket League a lot. New season's come out finally. Before the new season came out, I was extremely bored of the game. Finally we've got a new season, some new modes. Cool. I've just been enjoying it because it is just a game you can sit and chill on most of the time. Other than that, let me think. Really, I've played a bit of Resident Evil 2 Remake. I enjoyed that. I finished that. Crackdown 3. I played that. It's a game. It's a Crackdown game. Nothing special about it. Not very innovative. It's just a fun mess around, mindless, just shoot 'em up, overpowered game. If you've been keeping up to date with the Tgl YouTube channel, I've been playing a little bit of Skyrim again.
Yes,
I've been kind of getting.
We'll get onto that as well, actually, in a minute as well.
Yeah,
what's coming on.
Because most of the newer games that have been coming out, I've not really been too interested in. I've been kind of disappointed mostly. So I just know older games that I used to enjoy are just the better games. So I've gone back to them mostly and started playing them again for that pure enjoyment of gaming again. So Skyrim is probably just there again. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for my top 3, for example, Siege definitely coming up there because it's just so consistently good for me. I'm enjoying it. I'm finding I'm playing well with it, and that makes a difference. When you start getting back into it, whatever. Second of all, I'd probably say would be Fortnite. We haven't played it in a while, but Fortnite's just, I don't know. It's people like to criticize and say, oh, it's a kids game and all that.
Yeah.
But it's a kid audience. It's not a kids game because if you look, how many kids are professionals? None. how many kids watch it is a
Exactly.
difference to how many kids play it professionally. So
Yeah.
it is it's. But again, I'm decent at that game, so I'm going to enjoy it more than something like Apex Legends, where I'm terrible at. So I'm not going to enjoy that game.
Definitely.
But my third favorite game right now is Peggle 1 because it's a classic.
Wasn't
and-
expecting that.
Yeah, but the reason
Peggle.
why is let's say I do a bunch of recording for Tgl for YouTube, whatever, and you get into a point where you feel a bit shitty because it's just like, I've been working all day doing this, all that. You just want to chill by yourself, and that's just a little basic puzzle game, whatever. But the thing that Pero said earlier, but before, was newer games are they are more let down. I mean, if you remember the Xbox 360 and PS3 days, we had a new game come out like every 2 months. You'd go from the new COD to the new Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell, which, I really want a Splinter Cell game to come out. Hitman 2, for example, I loved Hitman 2, but I haven't played it in a while since it's come out, because I pretty much completed it in like 3 days. But it just seems there's no more variety anymore in games. It's just either a Battle Royale or a loot box simulator kind of game, effectively.
True.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yep. So
So,
even with like
Let's
Anthem,
flip it the other way then. What
Yeah,
games are you disappointed in?
Anthem. I don't know if I'm going to be disappointed in Division 2.
Yeah, I was going to say
played the
Division 2 is
beta.
a bit.
I had a bit of fun with it, but it is not a lot different to the first. As I was talking about before, Titanfall 2 did a big thing. It completely changed. It innovated from number 1. Number 2, it just seems like they've just removed the snow. That's about it. They're the 2 big games that I'm worrying about the most. Black Ops 4, we enjoyed that. All of us, all 3 of us here enjoyed that for a little while.
Yeah.
But now they're getting greedy, and it just makes me not want to play the game anymore.
The biggest thing that they did in Black Ops 4 that's put me kind of off it was the armor changes, because no one needed the armor. The big problem with Black Ops 4 Blackout is always been concussions and 9-bangs, and within a week they removed 9-bangs. So like, great, fine. But someone there must still be the one person in the world that loves concussions. It's like if they just got rid of that, kept the armor the way it is, because level 3 should be better than level 2, and it should be better than level 1, and so on. But when you get rid of, when they've all got durability that's gone like that, it's just pointless to play it. You literally can shoot someone for ages and they won't die, and they'll shoot you one shot and you're dead, even if it's not even a headshot.
Yeah, I feel like the armor is very. It was very strange the way they've changed it. There should still definitely be a balance where someone with level 1 can outgun a level 3 armor person if they literally outplay them, which you can. But I don't know. I feel like they've kind of changed a bit too much. The concussions, that was a big issue for a very long time, and it's a good job they did nerf them, because that was, if you were at the end game, like a top 3 situation, and then the next minute you get concussed, I would just put my controller down and be like, well, that's game, because there was no way you could get out of that. It was just guaranteed death.
But if you remember, like the old Call of Duty multiplayers, someone throws a flashbang and it's not.
You can still
move. You can still shoot. It was fair enough. And then to not have that for the start of Blackout, I mean, obviously they've made improvements in brackets. But where will that go from there? But yeah, games that are just disappointing at the moment is just I mean, Anthem, just really, it's a game that I just really wanted to get into, and I end up not buying it in the end after playing the beta, because I mean, things like you're inside base you start off and the movement's so slow.
Feels like you're hovering.
Yeah, it's like if you can't even get that right, then how are you gonna get everything else right?
Yeah, there's a lot of glitches with the cutscenes and everything. There's just been a lot of issues with it. And I know it is
I mean, Kearney, is any games you're just really disappointed with at the moment?
I wouldn't say at the moment, but there was one game that I was pretty disappointed in. It was that new Gran Turismo game, that Gran Turismo Sport, I believe it was called. Yeah, I feel like that it was really hyped coming back, because we go, thank God, a PlayStation classic, shall we say, has been released, and we can all enjoy. We can all go in our, fast cars, whatever cars that you want to drive in. And when you're playing, it doesn't feel like you're in an actual car. It feels like a simulation, as it is, obviously. It doesn't feel like you're getting the most out of your money that you pay for. The maps are more or less repeated. There's if you were to play, shall we say, is it Horizon 4?
Yeah, Forza Horizon 4.
Yeah,
Forza Horizon 4. I actually got that free for my my Xbox One S, and I enjoyed that a lot more than the Gran Turismo Sport.
See, the big problem with Gran Turismo Sport is, you know, when they said the new Gran Turismo game coming for PS4, everyone wanted to be like Gran Turismo 7. You know, a full game where you can, you know, get your licenses, buy your cars, tune them up. You know, if you're a JDM, do your JDMs. If you want just fast American muscle cars. And instead they went, no, he's a motorsport game. So it's a bit like Grid Autosport. When Grid 1 came out, people fell in love with Grid 1. I love Grid 1, it was great. Grid 2 came out and it was a total disaster. It handled awful. It looked okay, didn't really play well, awful. And they brought out Grid Autosport, and they, you know the Rushton game when they're blurring out the cockpit view cam to say more immersive, when actually it's just cheaper to not have to display, you know, HUD stuff.
Yeah.
So
I feel like the whole competitiveness of the game is taken out when you got a free car every single day. So if you got the world's fastest car within the first day, that's GG, I guess. You know, there's no competitive anymore. You don't need to buy, you don't need to save up like £10 million to buy a Ford GT, because you've already got on the first day. You know?
Yeah, I mean, so moving on, because obviously we are stuck for time anyway. So I don't know if any of you saw Nintendo Direct last week or the week before. I think it was last week. They announced some new games like Super Mario Maker 2 coming to Switch, which I am so excited for, and I will be doing that in Tgl, which we'll get onto in a sec anyway. So there are some new games. There's a new Zelda game coming, and there's all. So is there any games that you're really hyped up for? Generally, anyway, hasn't got to be Nintendo.
Generally hyped up for. Now that the sad thing is, I don't really think there is.
Yeah.
Halo Infinite, like I don't know what that's going to be like.
Is there even a
5.
release date for Halo Infinite yet?
No. They might announce it at E3. A lot of people are speculating that it's going to come out this year, which I would really dislike, because it'd probably be rushed. But I hope it does kind of just come out and put in the dirt what was Halo 5 in a sense. I'm not saying Halo 5 was a terrible game, but for myself, as a big Halo fan, I didn't enjoy it. I enjoyed 4 a lot more than 5, and I didn't really enjoy 4 anyway. In my opinion, the last great Halo was Reach, in a sense. Like, I know that was the game that kind of formed 4 and 5 because it introduced armor abilities, which, debatable. But I really enjoy that game just for the social aspect of it mainly, especially with Halo 3 as well. Halo 3 and Reach. Socially, just like Forge, custom games.
See, I still think, personally, the best Halo game ever made was ODST.
Campaign-wise, I think it's shown a different... Yeah, it really did show a different kind of side of Halo, which was really good. I really liked that. You weren't this, super Spartan who was invincible. It kind of shown a kind of more sad story in a sense. Which
and it's funny because like you go to like you go and watch E3. I mean, obviously we've never been to E3. We'd love to go.
No.
But you see like the trailers, and obviously a lot of things are affected to make it look like, oh wow, looks amazing. And the game comes out, it's absolutely crap. But I looked at the ODST trailer in 2009 or 2008, I think it was, in the end of it, and I wanted that game more than my next breath because it looks so good. And then I got it early. I was meant to get it for Christmas, and my mum was like, you've been ill for a while, because I was ill at the time. No surprise there. And she just gave it to me, and she cheered me up a bit, and I just loved it. It was so good.
Yeah,
Firefight on that, the story, just, and I'm not even a big Halo nerd. I don't really know much about Halo, unlike you. So I just really love that game. But yeah, games at the moment, I'm just not really hyped up for anything. Like, don't get me wrong, F1 games, they're going to be the same old, because they just are.
Yeah.
FIFA, there'll be a FIFA 9, or is it FIFA 20 that comes out this year?
FIFA 20 coming out,
and that will be exactly the same game as FIFA 19, crossed out with 19, but with 20 on. Not really enough to be hyped up about. Maybe a new mode. That's it. Double the price.
The one game
add a $5 to it.
Really hyped for is it's, I don't know whether it's this year or next year, but it's going to be Elder Scrolls 6. It's going to be Elder Scrolls that's going to be released. One game that I'm really hyped for that was, I think it was confirmed in E3, was Dead by Daylight 2. I think it was, unless I remember watching it and I thought that looks good. That looks like a game, because I've never played the first one, but I would love to definitely play the second one, because when you see the trailers, you go, that looks awesome. I need that. So definitely the Elder Scrolls, but there's not, as I say, I have to agree with you guys. There's not really any games that I'm like jumping for joy for.
I'll tell you what does surprise me though. There was a pattern really like someone found last year that Microsoft had done for a brand new Xbox, which is basically an Xbox One X cut down a bit. Size would be a little bit smaller.
No disc
drive. Like, I'm sorry, but the whole point of a games console is you buy a disc, you put it in, or you're going to be a cartridge if you want to go back to the old days. Play a game, and your friends come around. Hey, can I borrow that? Yeah, sure, borrow it. But generally speaking, disc prices are lower. Generally, not always, but lower than DRM, online. So who in their mind goes, you know what, I'll save, maybe £100, which probably wouldn't be that. If an Xbox One's Xbox One X is £400, thereabouts, and without disc drive it's $360. You may be saving £40 to not be able to play disc, but then your game's going to cost £30 more.
You just get a PC. I will not be supporting that at all. I've always been a fan of physical games. Any big game that I get, I always like to have a physical copy of it, because it's then you have that. You literally physically have that. For smaller games, sure, I don't mind getting digital games.
Yeah, like an arcade title. I'm not going to say, hey, do you want to come around and borrow Peggle?
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, like, of course, on PC games, it's 90% digital. Especially with Steam, it's all digital, and I've not purchased any physical game for PC. But with Xbox, which is my kind of single player platform for choice, I will always get a physical copy for a game that I want. So yeah, I won't be supporting that no disc drive Xbox at all.
So moving on from there, then we're going to the last segment of the podcast. Is what's coming up with TGL and what we've been busy doing, apart from Perry being ill, which hope we get well soon.
Yeah, F's in the chat.
Yeah, F's in the chat, definitely. So you may have seen, we launched the Papers, Please series I've been doing. I think episode 3 is being edited as we speak. Well, obviously not while I'm doing this podcast, I'm the one editing it. But it will come out soon. We've also got the Skyrim series that Pero has been doing, which will be on a hiatus while he's ill, because it's hard to record when you're ill. We had to convince Perry to come do the podcast. We also got the Minecraft tours coming out. Kearney, I believe, is going to be doing some more montages, because we got a lot of good feedback off the Fortnite one, which the fans of the channel, you're awesome, so thank you for that. So there'll be more Fortnite ones. I think there'll be a Siege one. I might do a montage maybe myself if I get any clips, because I always forget to record it when I'm playing with you. Plus we want to know, put down the comments on the VOD for this as well. What you want to see us do and what you want to see us play. We were here together. We might me and Pero might do that.
Yeah, we might play that. Yeah.
Because we do want to do more co-op games. We've got the Portal 2. We were going to do Community Chambers still at some point.
Yeah, we do need to do that, and also we need to finish off Art Therapy, which we still haven't even recorded yet. So but we'll get there.
We went to record it and it just kind of glitched that we just couldn't do it in the end. So we'll get that back. I mean, obviously later in the year, like I said earlier, so you might make it too. I'll be streaming that and recording that, because that's going to be friggin' awesome. That's great. It's always funny with a Nintendo game. They always got it's a bit like I always compare it to like Bohemian Rhapsody. No one will ever say Bohemian Rhapsody is one of their favourite songs, the favourite song. But if you're in the car by yourself, coming on the radio, you'll start belting that out. So Super Mario Maker, or Mario games in general, everyone has a soft spot for, because it's Mario. But they'll never get award for Game of the Year when you've got COD coming out, or you've got Red Dead Online coming out, something like that.
Yeah.
But it's always a game that's enjoyable to play. So because I got my Switch, I'll be doing that as well.
It's cool.
Might do a bit of Smash Brothers, which I'm getting better at every day. Still not great, but yeah. So I might bring some of that. Rocket League as well. If you two want to do some more Rocket League stuff, that'd be great.
We will be.
I've got plenty of clips to make another montage.
Because these two are a lot better than me at Rocket League, so you'll definitely see more of the Rocket League from them. So is there anything else you guys want to add?
I'm set. That's me. That's me done.
I've got everything I want.
Okay, well, we'll wrap up there then. So, you may have as well. By the way, I did test the follow alert during the stream as well, so my name did come up, which is great because it makes sure it worked. But yeah, so this VOD will go live literally once I've finished the stream. So put your comments in, and we do read the comments anyway. So yeah, last thing I'll say, last notice is we have got 20 subscribers at this point, which is great. So thank you very much. We do appreciate
Fantastic.
that. Hopefully,
Look
hopefully the growth will get there. The one thing that I like to just point out is TGL is always going to remain being honest. We're always going to remain being as funny as we can, and making content that we enjoy and that you enjoy as well. So make sure to get involved with the socials as well, because Kaylee is now taking over most of the socials, apart from the Twitter, I believe. So you can go to facebook.com/thegameloungeyt, and the Twitter is @thegamelounge_. And the website as well, I had a couple of people message me saying, where's the website? What's going on with it? The website's going to get remade at some point. We've just got to be, in the mood to remake it, because it's going to take half a day at least to get it redesigned and up to date, and then someone's got to manage it. And we also have, can I announce GG yet? Do you want me to announce it on this podcast?
You can.
Okay. So Tgl is going to be bringing up a new series called Guest Gamers. We don't know how we're going to spell it yet, whether we're going to put it with an S or a Z, because obviously putting a Z on it makes it look cool. But we're going to ask, so if you want to get involved with TGL, this will be your opportunity. So we're going to be doing that as a show. We don't know when it's going to start, so it's not going to be like next week, don't worry. But you'll be able to, come and do your own shows, do your own montages. Yeah, montages, yeah. Yeah, I can't speak. And I said Montaigne, that's what was in my brain. Too much seeds. Yeah, do your own Montaignes, yeah.
Let's. I mean, sorry, I meant.
Wow. So if you want to get in touch with us, you can hit us up in the DMs in the Twitter or the Facebook and say, hey, can I come be a part of Guest Gamers? And we'll do a little interview with you on Discord or something. Because we've had one application that we're reviewing at the moment, which obviously we're going to discuss how that's going. But there is obviously space, so we want to get you involved in TGL as much as possible, because obviously TGL is, me, Kenny, myself, Kenny, and Pero. But if you want to get involved, this is your opportunity and your time. So and just generally thanks for all the support that we get and the comments and the love we get. It's truly awesome. So yeah, I think that's about it. Everyone done?
Yep.
So I've been Pero Magic.
I've been Hardy F1.
And I've been Kenny Concourse.
Wait, that's not right, is it? Yeah, Kenny Magic F1 Hardy and Pero.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So anyway, thanks for coming to the Tgl podcast. We'll be doing this again at some point. We don't really have a set schedule for the podcast, but we hope you guys enjoy it. And until next time, thanks very much for watching. Catching up on the VOD now when it comes to the streams and that, and we'll see you in the next one. So bye from me.
Goodbye.
It's a bye from me.
Bye.